Food Treasures, a whimsical family theatrical presentation, is inspired by the generosity of organizations, businesses, families, and individuals dedicated to the health and happiness of children, teens, parents, and grandparents. We hope you enjoy our presentation.
The list of kids who are practically magical is practically endless. One of the most magical youngsters I have ever met is a 14-year-old Barry who loves to solve problems. For instance,
it has been my absolute delight to be your tour guide through the wild berry gardens this afternoon. I do hope you youngsters have learned a lot about the delicious, colorful, juicy, healthy, sweet, and sour berries that grow around the world. Now, before all of you children go home, I'm wondering if anyone here can remember how many different types of berries you learned about today.
Well, that's easy for me because my name is Barry, B-A-R-R-Y, and I remember all the berries, B-E-R-R-I-E-S, growing in the wild berry garden. We've got blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, gooseberries, acai berries, bearberries, boysenberries, buffalo berries, cranberries, cowberries, goji berries, huckleberries, loganberries, nancy berries, salmon berries, and strawberries.
Good gosh, what a memory you have, young man. All right, everyone, it has been a joy to meet you. Bye. Come back soon. That is, if the gardens haven't been torn. Oh, never mind. Bye-bye.
Well, all the other kids, with enthusiastic excitement, ran out to exit to meet their parents and grandparents. Barry followed the tour guide to the gift shop.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Oh, hasn't anyone come to pick you up?
I rode my bike here. I'd like to exercise. Before I leave, I was wondering why didn't you finish your sentence when you said if the gardens have been torn?
Oh, I shouldn't have said what I said. Thank you for coming. You're a very smart teenager. Be careful riding your bike. Bye-bye.
When you didn't finish your sentence, it looked as if your face suddenly, went south.
You are a very perceptive young man, but you don't need to be bothered by my problems.
Well, my grandpa Giggles says I'm rather magical. By the way, my grandfather loves berries. Blueberries and cranberries are his favorite.
Oh, your Grandpa Giggles sounds very special. Oh, I wish he could talk some sense into Mr. Copperhilly and Miss Fishhag. Those two are ruining everything.
Who are they and what are they ruining?
Mr. Copperhilly and Miss Fishhag are the stingiest, greediest, crankiest, grouchiest, and crabbiest people I have ever met. They own the Sweet Tooth factory where they make only the most horrible junk food. In their factories, they make over 10,000 types of candy filled with way too much sugar.
Well, my Grandpa Giggles bakes the most delicious berry pies. His pies are mostly sugar-free. Fresh berries are all he needs. For Thanksgiving, he makes his very own cranberry sauce from fresh cranberries. He makes puppets, too. He has his own puppet theater. It's called the Grandpa Giggles Food Treasure Puppet Theater. All of his puppet shows are about food.
Oh, I wish he had a solution to dealing with that Mr. Copperhilly and Miss Fishhag who are trying to buy the wild berry gardens. If they do, they'll dig up all the berry plants and build another Sweet Tooth factory. Children need to eat beautiful, colorful, delicious berries instead of chomping on candy bars every day.
As Barry rode his bike home, he remembered something his Grandpa Giggles often told him.
You must always remember this. Commit no crime out of need and commit no crime out of greed. Grow rich and happy in effort. Forgive anyone who may not understand you, and don't worry about greedy and selfish people on the other side of the upside-down bridge.
Upside-down bridge? Oh, yes. The factory and the garden were separated by an upside-down bridge.
Hear ye, the Society of Rottenness is now in order.
In his usual vengeful tone of voice, Mr. Copperhilly continued his tirade.
Will all those present who claim to be mean, nasty, villainous, vicious, wicked, malicious, spiteful, scornful, unforgiving, and most of all, heartless members of this organization please raise their hands?
11 pairs of greedy hands rose simultaneously, including Miss Fishhag's.
We only need $1,000 more to buy the wild berry gardens, dig up all the berries, build a second tooth factory, and make sure children only have sugar candy to eat during the holiday season.
The room erupted with the sound of applause. They triumphantly pounded their fists on the table in unison, chanting,
"Junk food! Junk food!"
On the other side of the upside-down bridge, Barry saw his favorite building.
There it is! Grandpa Giggles' Food Treasure Puppet Theater.
It was a majestic marble theater with white granite columns, ornate carved sculptures, and glass doors with gold trimmings. The poster announced in big purple letters, Grandpa Giggles has the honor to announce the Food Treasure Holiday Puppet Show and Wild Berries Banquet. Barry looked up from the poster to see Grandpa Giggles pacing back and forth on the stage.
I hear breathing in my auditorium. It can't be the puppets, or can it?
It's me, Grandpa. Your glasses are hanging on the back of your head.
Oh, well, why you look rather perplexed, Barry. What is the matter?
Well, I was using my cell phone to do a search on the internet, Grandpa. I learned that there might be as many as 8 million people, many kids and teenagers, who do this thing called binge eating. They eat and they eat and they eat and they eat, mostly junk food and sweets, and they get really unhealthy. And a lot of the time during the holidays. You know, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. That really has started to bother me, Grandpa Giggles.
Well, that's nothing. I don't know anything else besides that before, of course. I'm so old, there's practically nothing I don't know something about. I'm surprised my little old brain contains so much information. I think my puppets keep me young, and of course, healthy food.
Do you know a Mr. Copperhilly and a Miss Fishhag across the upside-down bridge?
Oh, geez, Willikers. I know them very well, and I don't want you crossing that bridge. You stay away from those two people.
Well, on the internet, it says that they own Mr. Freeze-It's sugarless ice cream shop.
Oh, yes, and just yesterday, he told me he only owes them $1,000 more, and then he can own his own shop and be finished with those two nasty, greedy, selfish people.
I have to do something, Grandpa, to save the wild berry gardens. I'm going to go talk to Mr. Freeze-It.
Well, when you're finished, you come back here. I've got the juiciest organic apple pie baking in the oven. Fresh apples sprinkled with fresh cinnamon, and I squeeze lemon juice from fresh lemons all over the apples.
Sadly, Mr. Copperhilly and Miss Fishhag crossed the upside-down bridge to the Wildberry Gardens to confront the heartbroken tour guide.
But people need to eat berries. Fruits are so important for our health.
Money is far more important to me.
The more candy that parents buy their kids, the more money we make.
But it costs so much money to fix a kid's rotten teeth.
Look at me. Don't I look happy?
Frankly, you look rather nasty, filthy, ugly, pathetic, miserable, wretched, and did I say nasty?
Oh, how delightful it is to plot against the Wildberry Gardens. Do you know that I've never tasted blueberries, blackberries, cranberries, strawberries, and all the other berries, including gooseberries?
Miss Fishhag and I are going back across the upside-down bridge, but I warn you, we shall return.
Meanwhile, at the Mr. Freeze-It's sugarless ice cream shop.
Mr. Freeze-It, what can we do?
Oh dear, I need a thought to flow through my brain. Oh, I do enjoy when a thought flows in my brain. Oh, I must stand on my hands. Yes, that always helps me to think clearly. Handstands are marvelous exercises for clearing the brain.
Well, any idea, Mr. Freeze-It?
Sugar clogs the brain, you know. Did I ever tell you that?
Yes, many times.
I have a new idea. Oh, it came right away. Let's go get Grandpa Giggles and take him to the Wildberry Gardens.
We've got to win the battle between candy and berries.
Meanwhile, back at the Society of Rottenness meeting, Mr. Copperhilly was bellowing to his fellow members.
We must see it to that the children's breakfast, lunch, and dinner plates are filled with sugar and sugar and sugar and more sugar. Soon all the kids on both sides of the upside-down bridge will have bad nerves from sleepless nights.
Barry and Mr. Freeze-It darted and dashed down the street. They were very careful not to knock anyone over. Barry ran faster than he had ever ran before. His lungs burned from the freezing wind, and he clutched his cap to keep it from blowing away, but he didn't stop running.
Hurry up, Mr. Freeze-It. I just texted Grandpa Giggles to meet us at the Wildberry Gardens.
I'm running as fast as my wobbly legs will allow. I think I should have put on my tennis shoes. Then I could be running faster.
Mr. Freeze-It, you don't have any shoes on at all. Only socks, and they don't even match.
Oh dear, I should have put on my socks while doing a handstand.
Alas, Barry and Mr. Freeze-It, certainly huffing and puffing, arrived at the Wildberry Gardens.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Young man, you've returned. Oh, did you forget something? I hope your bike didn't break down on the way home. Hello, Mr. Freeze-It.
I texted Grandpa Giggles, and he's on his way here.
I'm here, and I invited a radio reporter.
Hello. I'm hoping I can be of help.
I checked with the bank, and the manager, who is a friend of mine, told me that Mr. Freeze-It has to give the $1,000 to Mr. Copperhilly and Miss Fishtag by 4:30 today.
That's only a couple minutes from now. What should I do? Oh, I need to think clearly before I get dizzy. Oh, wait, I'm dizzy.
time is running out. Perhaps if we all sit down, breathe deeply and slowly, and enjoy eating handfuls of delicious berries, we can all reduce our stress and become calm.
My mother used to make the most wonderful blackberry pies for Thanksgiving when I was a little girl. That's why I'm about to do a radio show on the wild berries garden.
Well, because if we don't have berries for the holidays, I won't be able to do my holiday food treasures puppet show and wild berries banquet.
Mr. Freeze It is going to text Mr. Copperhilly right now. Tell Mr. Copperhilly and Miss Fishhag that you can't come to the Upside Down Bridge, so they need to meet you at the Wild Berry Gardens now.
I'm ready for action, Mr. Barry.
Barry's Grandpa Giggles had taught him that in every situation, no matter how difficult, a key to solving the problem were three things: creative thinking, staying calm, and having patience.
My car won't start.
We'll use my car then.
I used your car last night and there's no gasoline in it.
I didn't give you permission to use my car.
Since when do you expect me to behave politely?
Well then, if you must know, last night while you were using my car without my permission, I ate 15 of your most expensive candy bars without your permission.
You had no right. I can't trust you.
I can't trust you either.
Then we have to run across the upside down bridge. I'm so filled with sugar, I cannot run a zebra.
But when you try to run, you can barely breathe.
How I breathe is none of your concern.
An irritable person is always best friends with another irritable person. Nobody in the Society of Rottenness was more irritable than Mr. Copperhilly and Miss Fishhag.
Oh, here they come. Everyone stay calm.
Just let me know when, Barry.
I'm so nervous. Nervous. Maybe I should change my name to Mr. Nervous Legs, or Mr. Nervous Arms, or Mr. Nervous Toes, or Mr.
Why are all of you people here? Mr. Freeze It, give me the check and we'll be on our way and we'll begin immediately to chop down the berry bushes. Chop, 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 chop.
Give me the check.
I'll take the check.
I'll take the check.
Me.
Me!
1, 2, 3.
Good afternoon, boys and girls, mothers and fathers, grandmas and grandpas. I'm reporting live at the moment from the Wild Berry Gardens, where there are the most delicious berries for your holiday desserts. Come here, fill up your baskets, and eat healthy and wise for the holidays.
We've got blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, gooseberries, bearberries, bilberries, boysenberries, buffalo berries, cowberries, cranberries, goji berries, huckleberries, loganberries, nansonberries, salmonberries, and strawberries.
Where's my $1,000 so I can tear apart these gardens and build a second Sweet Tooth factory?
Give that check to me!
I've just learned very sad news. If Grandpa Giggles doesn't have berries during the holiday season, he will have to cancel the Food Treasures Puppet Show and Wild Berries Banquet.
Nobody cares about puppets or berries. What counts as stuffing our mouths with as much candy as possible.
Oh, look at Miss Fishhag.
Miss Fishhag, what are you doing?
Well, if you eat strawberries, your cheeks might turn rosy pink and you might become quite pretty.
Really? I've always wanted to be pretty.
I thought you were happy being ugly and nasty.
No, I want to be pretty. And these strawberries are actually very delicious. I wish my mother and grandmother, when I was a little girl, would have given me bowls of berries to eat for dessert instead of junk food.
Before anyone could utter another word, Mr. Freeze It flipped over, stood on his hands, and lifted his legs straight into the air. Everyone's mouths, except for Miss Fishhag's, which was filled with berries, dropped wide open.
To my audience listeners, Mr. Freeze It is so happy that he's standing upside down. I'd like to announce a contest between the two men. One who owns the Sugarless Ice Cream Shop and the other who owns the Sweet Tooth Factory. Whichever man can stand on his hands and keep his legs in the air the longest will win. If Mr. Freeze It wins, he doesn't have to pay Mr. Copperhilly the $1,000, and Mr. Copperhilly will have to admit that he cannot buy the Wild Berry Gardens. And Grandpa Giggles will go on with his Food Treasures Puppet Show and Wild Berries Banquet. What does my listening audience have to say?
Yay!
Oh, now I think I'll try a mouthful of huckleberries.
I'll keep time. Do it, Mr. Copperhilly.
Hurry! I'm already standing on my hands.
I can't stand upside down.
Because you eat too much junk food.
I want my money. I want my money.
Oh, those huckleberries were so scrumptious. Next, I'd like to taste loganberries.
Miss Fishhead, I demand you stop eating those berries and come back across the upside-down bridge with me. No! This very instant, we have to go back across the Society of Rottenness and think up a new plan.
Raspberries. I really like these bright red raspberries. It's rather fun to eat berries. I never knew eating fruits could be so much fun.
Every child deserves to be healthy and have fun, Mr. Copperhilly.
When people are feeling happy and healthy, Mr. Copperhilly, they don't feel grouchy or cranky or crabby.
I'm feeling so happy right now after eating all these berries. I feel like standing on my head upside down like Mr. Freeze-It.
Oh, for gosh sakes, I can't take this any longer. I'm going back across the upside-down bridge into my sweet tooth factory and eating as many candy bars as I like.
Well, as long as Mr. Freezer and Miss Fishhead are looking quite happy standing upside down, I think I'll join them.
I'm going to join them too, although I'll have to figure out where to put my microphone. Maybe I'll hold it with my feet.
Now, Barry and I can pick up a few baskets, put all sorts of berries inside, then we can go into the kitchen and get bowls and spoons and...
I have an idea. Oh yes, a brilliant idea. We could all run to my sugarless ice cream shop.
And put our berries in sugarless ice cream in bowls and feel really healthy and happy.
And everyone can help me paint my new puppets for the Food Treasures Puppet Show.
Oh, what a splendid idea.
You people are lots more fun than hanging around with that crabby Mr. Copperhilly. He needs a bowl of fresh berries. Then he might chill out.
Yay for friends and fruits.
14-year-old Barry certainly solved this problem. Now, I can't help but wonder what's the next problem he'll be solving. Thanks for allowing me to share with you this holiday story.
Produced by the Sierra Association of Foster Families, a 501c3 nonprofit focusing on the education and health of disadvantaged children and teens and their caregivers. For more information, go to educatefosteryouth.org.
We want to thank you for listening to our family theater program, Food Treasures. It will be repeated on this station and on the web at americamatters.us every Wednesday at 3:30 between now and Christmas. So our purpose is to get kids to eat healthy and for parents to buy fruits instead of candy and junk food. What I'd like to do at this moment is introduce the cast of actors that you have just heard. My name is Joseph, and I'm the producer and writer of this program. And it's my pleasure to just look around this wonderful room. I have to say, when I wrote this script, every single person sitting here in the studio is who I kept in mind. And it's a lot of different, not typecasting, because like Miss Fishhag is just, the villainess is just the sweetest person in the world. So let me start with Miss Fishhag and introduce herself and what she does.
Hi, my name is Catherine Mills. I played the part of Miss Fishhag today. I am the owner and artistic director of Fairy Tale Ballet Reno.
And next to Catherine is, with a man with water in his mouth.
Chad William Michael, Mr. Copperhilly, the most evil candy factory owner across the upside-down bridge.
And next to him is my longtime friend.
I'm Christiana Frank Daniels, the founder and owner of Team Building on Purpose, Kidscape Productions, and I also do the curriculum development.
And next to her is my right hand in my work.
I'm Chrissy Barnett, and I'm the Secretary-Treasurer of Sierra Association of Foster Families.
And you also own another business.
Oracle Online, we shoot video.
Positively
Financial.
I rely on Chrissy every day for work. And then next to her is someone I've been on stage with who I just adore.
My name is Barbara Biondo, and I play the Wild Berry Tour Gardens Guide. And I'm also a speech pathologist and working primarily with children to age about 18.
And over here, coming all the way from Oakland, is...
My name is Julian Vitaglione. I'm the host of Ecstatic Dance Sacramento, where I met this lovely man named Joseph, who invited me on this project to make a difference in people's lives. And it struck me because my mother was diagnosed with diabetes about 3 years ago, and she's been knocking out like 100 pounds, kicking butt across the map. Sorry, my French. But when he offered me this project to make a difference in people's life, it really struck a chord with my heart chakra or heart space, and it's a pleasure to be a part of this. And if you guys ever want to come dance, Ecstatic Dance Sacramento is the place to go.
Thank you. And standing next to me is, when I wrote this script, I said there's only one young man that I want to play Barry, and I'll put it out to the universe. And he is here, and he is represented by Laughing Owl Productions, which is one of Reno's theater productions for children. And I'm going to let him introduce himself, our wonderful, wonderful Barry.
Thanks, Joseph. My name's Travis Weston, and I play the part of Barry.
And you go to high school, and you're in theater.
Yeah, I've been involved with theater for 7 years of my life now, and it's something I truly have a passion for. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else other than this.
And you can see him if you take the VT's Polar Express from November 18th until December 30th. He and I and Catherine's son Cooper will be on the train. You are playing what role?
I'm playing a shelf, which is a combination of a chef on the way up to the North Pole and an elf on the way back.
And Catherine, your son is playing?
Cooper will be playing the hero boy, and he's going to be the one that Santa gifts the first bell of Christmas to.
And I get to play the hobo who jumps on the train and screams, "I am the king of the Polar Express." So let me introduce also a lady here in the studio who is the director and one of the founders of Laughing Owl Productions, who gave us Travis.
Thank you very much. Yes, Travis has been in 3 productions with us, and we are just so happy to have him around. We specialize in theatrical productions, particularly for youth and families, that are available for tour around Northern Nevada and Northern California. You can visit our website, laughingowlproductions.com, and we do have a Actors Boot Camp next week, October 2nd through the 6th for the big kids, ages 11 to 17. So check out our website for details. Thank you.
I'm an arts and education media specialist, so I've worked with over 20,000 kids, and I can tell you the difference that arts make in the life of kids. We also want to thank all of the people who sponsored this. You can go on our website, Educate Foster Youth, and you can see a list of people who have made this possible. I want to just ask a question or two, but first I want to share with you, and this is for the parents and grandparents listening out there. I came up with this idea because I was standing in a grocery store, and there was about a 12-year-old girl in front of me at the checkout line who was having a meltdown, and I thought, gosh, she's really having a meltdown. This is really pretty serious. And I looked at the conveyor belt, and her mother was unloading soda pops and cakes and cookies and pies and candy and ice cream and potato chips, and I thought, why is this girl having a meltdown? She's about to have a birthday party. And when the cashier rang up the bell, the mother looked at the charge, which was actually $212 because I could hear her scream, and she turned to her daughter and said, if this stuff doesn't make you feel life's worth living, then you're hopeless. And that gave me the idea that kids who have eating disorders and kids who do binge eating and live on junk food cannot do so unless they have an adult that's buying it for them. So the purpose of this show is to do a whimsical theatrical production to help families during the holiday season not stop celebrating with some delicious treats, but to focus more on healthy eating. And that, of course, includes fruits so much. So just let me ask a couple of questions in the remaining time that we have. I will start with Christiana, who, as you know, she said she runs a program called Kidscape Productions, which is just so marvelous. You and I have talked over the years about healthy eating. Why did you decide to do this besides getting paid?
That was it. No, I'm a real advocate for how the brain works. So even with the companies I'm running, we work a lot on how neurons are connected positively within the brain for positive outcomes and learning. And it all starts with really your environment and what you're putting into your body as well. So where you are and what you eat becomes who you are. Then you can go with thoughts are things, and you can go into, the inside of your body and figure out what you're presenting to the world, but definitely food. And now as I'm getting older, I'm finding too that you know right away when you've put something into your body that isn't working out well with your organs.
And Travis, you being a young high school student, you must see kids your age, youth your age, just stuffing themselves with garbage. What do you do to keep healthy?
I see this all the time at lunch at my high school, and overall, it's not a smart decision in my opinion, because if you eat healthy, you keep your strength up, you keep your health up, and frankly, a lot of healthy stuff is really delicious too. So overall, just eating healthy is the way to go, and buying berries and fruits and stuff like that are really Great. My favorite are raspberries.
And I can tell you as a diabetic that I wish that as a child, to be honest, I wish my family would have given me more healthy foods than the unhealthy foods that I had, because once you're diagnosed as an adult with diabetes, and juvenile diabetes really affects youth, and now some studies are out that kids are now developing adult diabetes. It's become really, in my estimation, an epidemic. And the answer is to start young, feeding the kids fruits and vegetables. So kids out there, eat healthy. Have a good time in Halloween, and a good time in Thanksgiving, and a good time in Christmas. But maybe for every candy cane you eat, you can eat a bowl full of goji berries and blackberries and raspberries, right? So we will again remind you that this theatrical presentation will play every Wednesday, 3:30 on this station, 1180 AM, and on www. America Matters US across the world. Tune in, grandmas, grandpas, moms, dads, uncles, aunts, tune in. Let your kids hear this. Let us know how you think it is, and have a happy, happy, happy holiday, and be happy, be safe, and be healthy. Eat healthy. So thank you, and we thank America Matters Media, Craig and Adam, who are engineers, right? And everyone else. Yes?